What if you could walk through the world untouched, not because the world is kind, but because your mind is impenetrable? What if no insult could trigger you, no chaos could shake you, no setback could break you? What would your life look like if fear, doubt, and anger no longer had a voice? If rejection, failure, criticism, none of it could reach the core of who you are? You see, the goal is not to live in a world without adversity. The goal is to become someone the world cannot disturb, someone whose strength isn't loud, but still, calm, centered, someone who moves like water, unbothered, unfazed, unbreakable. Let me make this clear from the start. Fear is not the enemy. Anger is not the enemy. Life will throw fire at you. Let it. The enemy is reaction. The true weakness is letting the world pull your strings like a puppet. Every time you flinch, every time you lash out, every time you spiral, it's not the world that won. It's your lack of discipline. But that ends today. This is not a motivational speech. This is a recalibration, a shift in the way you think, act, and carry yourself. Because your power doesn't come from controlling the world, it comes from not needing to. The moment you stop giving external chaos internal control, everything changes. People lose power over you. Problems shrink. And your mind, your most valuable weapon, becomes razor sharp, clear, and steady. In the next few minutes, we're going to destroy the illusion of control, reveal the hidden cost of emotional reactivity, and give you a blueprint for becoming someone who lives and acts as if nothing affects them. Because when you reach that level, when you stop responding to noise, when your silence speaks louder than words, you don't just protect your energy, you dominate with it. So breathe deep, center yourself, and let's begin the transformation. From today forward, the world no longer controls how you feel. You do. We grow up believing that if we work hard enough, plan well enough, think long enough, we can control everything. But that belief, though comforting, is a lie. Life is chaos by nature. The weather changes, people change, circumstances shift without warning. The tighter you try to grip control, the more it slips through your fingers. And yet this illusion is what keeps most people anxious. They try to manage every outcome, every conversation, every emotion. They obsess over what might happen, what they should have said, what someone else is thinking. But here's the truth. The more you try to control what you cannot, the more you surrender control over what you can, yourself. There are only two things you truly own in this life: your actions and your attitude. That's it. Everything else, your job, your relationships, your reputation, your plans, is subject to external forces. Trying to control it all is like yelling at the wind. It exhausts you, frustrates you, and leaves you powerless. You must learn the discipline of detachment, not apathy, not giving up. Detachment, the ability to remain calm while the world moves around you, the ability to observe without needing to intervene, the ability to let go of what you can't shape and instead shape what you can, your mindset, your habits, your response. Most people are so reactive they don't even realize how controlled they are. One harsh comment ruins their entire day. One minor inconvenience sends them spiraling. One rejection has them questioning their worth. That's not strength, that's slavery. You're not free if your peace can be stolen by something as small as someone else's opinion. But there's a different path, a path of internal mastery, where you shift from asking, how can I control the world, to how can I command myself? And when you walk that path, you begin to experience something rare: stillness, a calm in the middle of the storm, a power that doesn't come from domination, but from indifference to chaos. Understand this: control is not force. It is freedom from needing force. You let people be who they are, and you remain who you are. You let life unfold as it does, and you stay rooted. You stop trying to manage every emotion, every reaction, every outcome, and instead you become unshakable. Because the strongest man in the room is not the one who speaks the loudest. It's the one who doesn't need to speak at all. The one whose silence says, I am not moved. I am not rattled. I am not afraid. That's the power we're building here. And it starts by killing the illusion that you need to manage anything but yourself. Let the world do what it will. You stay still. Most people live in a state of constant reaction. They don't respond to life, they react to it. Like a pinball, they're tossed around by every word, every situation, every glance, every piece of bad news. Someone cuts them off in traffic. Anger. A text goes unanswered. Anxiety. A post online. Instant judgment. And with each reaction, they lose a little more power, a little more control, a little more of themselves. Reactivity is the death of personal power. Why? Because when you're reactive, you're not deciding. You're being controlled. You're not living from intention. You're living from impulse. Your emotions dictate your behavior. Your environment dictates your peace. And the result, you become fragile, easily triggered, easily thrown off course. You live at the mercy of everything around you. Think about how much time you've wasted because of reactivity. How many hours you've spent replaying a conversation in your mind, stewing over something that didn't even matter a day later. How many goals have been delayed because you were emotionally drained by drama that had nothing to do with your mission? How many mornings you lost to a restless night caused by something someone said online? The cost is immense, not just in time, but in focus, in energy, in clarity. There's a simple but brutal truth. If your peace can be disturbed by external noise, your peace was never real. What separates the exceptional from the average isn't talent. It's emotional discipline. The ability to feel, but not flinch. To notice, but not overreact. To hurt, but not collapse. You don't become unshakable by avoiding adversity. You become unshakable by choosing stillness when adversity shows up. And here's something even more important. Every time you react emotionally, you are reinforcing a loop in your brain, a habit, a neural pathway that says, when this happens, I lose control. And if you don't disrupt that pattern, it becomes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as calm and focused, and you start believing you're just emotional, just sensitive, just someone who can't help it. But you can help it. You can rewire your mind. You can train yourself to pause, to breathe, to observe without attaching, and it starts with awareness. Realizing that your first impulse is not your truth. It's a program, a default. But you are not your default. You are the driver. And the moment you claim that role, everything begins to change. Start small. When you feel yourself triggered, pause. Don't post, don't reply, don't react, just notice. Let the emotion pass through you like a wave, let it rise, and let it fall. You don't need to suppress it, you don't need to indulge it, you just need to witness it without letting it dictate your next move. And this is not weakness, this is mastery. Because anyone can explode, anyone can lash out, anyone can overreact. That takes no strength at all. But the man who can feel everything and still remain composed, that man is powerful. That man is rare. In a world addicted to outrage and validation, he becomes a fortress of calm. And that calm is magnetic. People feel it, they sense it, they respect it, because it's not a performance, it's not a facade, it's real. It's earned. It's the result of relentless self-discipline, the kind that says, I will not give away my power just because life tried to provoke me. You must decide today that your peace is non-negotiable, not because life will always be peaceful, but because you will be. Your power is not in your ability to control others. It's in your refusal to let others control you. So the next time chaos knocks at your door, don't invite it in. Observe it, learn from it, and then rise above it. Because while the world reacts, you will remain. Control your emotions, or your emotions will control your life. This isn't just some ancient Stoic wisdom passed down through dusty books. It's a reality that defines winners and losers, leaders and followers, the powerful and the powerless. Emotional control is not about pretending you don't feel. It's about ensuring that what you feel doesn't own you. Most people are ruled by emotional reflexes. Anger, fear, anxiety, jealousy. They feel something, and without pause, they act on it. They speak words they later regret. They make decisions based on temporary feelings. They sabotage relationships, delay their progress, or abandon their path, all because their emotions dictated the moment. But the strongest men and women, the ones you admire, they don't react. They respond. They've trained their minds to create space between the feeling and the action. And in that space, they make powerful choices. Understand this clearly. Emotions are information, nothing more. They're not commands. They don't get to steer your ship. They simply tell you what's happening inside. But it's your job to decide what you do with that information. And when you make decisions from a place of clarity, not chaos, you move differently. You speak with precision. You act with calm. You rise, even when the world tries to pull you down. Think of a firefighter walking into a burning building. Do you think they feel fear? Absolutely. But do they let that fear control them? Because their training has taught them something critical. Emotion without control is dangerous, not just for themselves, but for everyone around them. Now apply that to your life. Every time you let anger control your words, fear control your steps, or insecurity control your decisions, you're lighting fires where there should be progress. Here's the hard truth. Most of your suffering doesn't come from the situation itself. It comes from how you react to it. You get cut off in traffic. It lasts 5 seconds. But if you replay it in your head for hours, whose fault is that? The emotion was real. But the suffering? That was a choice. You have to begin mastering the art of detachment. Not from people, not from goals, but from the need to emotionally react to everything. The strongest mindset is not one that avoids feeling. It's one that feels deeply, but doesn't crumble under the weight. Think of a warrior in battle. The chaos is all around him, the noise, the fire, the confusion. But the warrior moves with intention, with calm. He knows the mission. He doesn't let the emotion of the moment consume the clarity of his vision. That's what you must become in your own life. A warrior of discipline, calm in chaos, focused in adversity, unmoved by the noise. And here's something else. Emotional control makes you magnetic. Because in a world of people constantly reacting, lashing out, blaming, complaining, and the one who stays calm, composed, grounded, that person stands out. That person commands respect without needing to demand it. Their presence speaks louder than anyone's anger ever could. So how do you build this control? You practice. You put yourself in situations that test you, and you train yourself not to flinch. When someone insults you, pause before reacting. When fear rises,